channel, you may have noticed that recently I was gone for a couple of weeks. I know I recently put out a shotgun video, or shooting at the clay park, but the video prior to that was probably around 2 weeks prior to that. And the reason I didn't have any videos between those two is because of this thing here. This is a cabinet that a friend of mine brought over and asked me to fix for her. Now, I received a call from my friend, and she tells me I have a cabinet that I want to put in my bathroom that needs to be sanded down and painted. Can you do that for me? Yeah, that's not a big deal. I can do that, no problem. I'm gonna have that done in a couple of days. So she brings over a cabinet that only needed to be painted and repaired in about 10 different pieces. I mean, the door wasn't on it, it was missing parts, it was a basket case. And I said, I thought you said it only needed to be painted and repaired. She goes, well, it may need a little bit of work. And I said, yeah, a little bit. I mean, this thing was bad. You know, I took some pictures of it, and I'll throw them in here and on the screen as I'm talking. But this thing was horrible. I didn't want to take on this project when I saw it. It would have been much easier for me to make her a brand new one, and it would have taken a lot less time than it took me to fix this thing. But she told me the story behind it. I guess it was the very first piece of furniture that she had purchased when she was a teenager, when she got her first apartment, and she was 17 at the time. Well, she's 58 now, so that tells you how old this thing is. But anyway, when I received it, I told you it was in pieces. I mean, the door wasn't on it. It was missing pieces inside these panels inside the door. The towel rack wasn't mounted to it. It had a side folding table that flipped up. That was removed. It did not have a backing on it. It was a mess. And being it was so old, the glue, if it even had any glue on it, had the adhesion had failed, and it was all separated and pulling apart. It was nailed together with wire brads out of a pneumatic nailer, and it wobbled back and forth. I mean, there was no stability to it at all. So, you know, after hearing the story, and it's got a lot of sentimental value to it, you know, her first piece of furniture and all that nonsense, I said, okay, I suppose I can do that for you. I said, don't expect anything spectacular, I'll do what I can. And she wanted to leave it as original as possible. Well, that wasn't going to happen. It needed a couple of pieces replaced. Like the door here, this piece of the door right here, it had a big knot in it right here, and it had broken. It had completely separated where that knot was at, and that's pretty much impossible to glue back together because there's no pores in the knot for the glue to adhere to and to make it stick. And if I would have tried to drill into it to fix it with doweling, you know, the knots is the hardest part of the wood. So I didn't even want to mess with that, and I told her, look, I have to replace that part. She was like, okay, if you have to, go ahead. And at some point, her husband tried to fix it for her, and he tried to mend that break with drywall compound. And I was like, oh man, your husband's not really the sharpest tool in the shed, is he? But yeah, I think I may have a picture of that, which I'll throw up here. But it was just in really bad shape. So I basically completely tore it apart, removed all those wire brads. I can't stand those things. I never use nails when I make anything. I always use screws because they're much more, they won't back out like a nail, and it's more sturdy. But this thing is nice and solid now. So anyway, I tore it all apart, and I glued it all back together. Then once the glue was dry, I ran screws in everything and every joint and everything, so it's extremely sturdy now. It should last for another 40 some odd years. But this is what I was working on. As far as the front of the door, originally it had 3 separate panels on the back side of the door. I replaced it with 1 single panel. It just made more sense, because she was talking about putting a picture in here, or possibly getting a piece of fabric and stick it in there, or she had all these ideas. She's crafty, you know. She was talking fabric, she was talking pictures, she was talking stickers, and I'm like, look, I don't want no part of that. I'll tell you what, I'll make the backing removable, so it's held in with screws. And I said, and you can put it whatever you want on that door. I want no part of that. But as you can see, it has a backing on it. I painted the inside white. She wanted the outside gray. I told her I would make these windows, if you will, on the door white, just to give it a contrasting colors. So anyway, that's the finished product. It had all brass hardware on it, and I replaced it with silver because that's what she wanted. She's changing all of her home, everything that's brass, into like brushed nickel, so she wanted silver. So I did all that, and she also wanted wheels on it, so I put wheels on it because she wanted to be able to roll it away from the wall to be able to clean out from under it, because I believe she said it's going in her bathroom, so she can put like toilet paper and bathroom accessories in there. But here it is. Nice. I use hardboard for the back of the cabinet and the back of the door. So that's the finished project. That's the reason I didn't make any gun videos for like 2 weeks, because of this thing. So just thought I'd share that with you guys, let you guys know where I was, in case anybody was wondering. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for listening to me, guys, and we'll talk to you later.